We return. Pierce takes to the streets.
I was in tights and tails and Wellington boots with a very large afro wig.
Pierce Brosnan survived a difficult childhood in Ireland and then fought his way through the mean streets of London as a teen. Pierce learned that his imagination held the key to his survival. In 1969, 17-year-old Brosnan joined the Oval House Theatre and turned his attention to acting.
I had no idea what a workshop was. I went into this big black room and, I was asked to lie on the floor and close my eyes and hum, and then get up with your eyes closed and touch people. I thought, if this is acting, I like it. I went every night of the week, and finally I gave up the job, and we formed a company. I was good at it, did acrobatics. It was a time of living theater, La Mama, Grotowski. And suddenly I began to get an education.
An unusual education, to say the least.
At one point, I think there's Pierce dressed up in a big sort of rubber chickens outfit. I don't know where he got these outfits from.
And I used to do an act. I was in tights and tails and Wellington boots with a very large afro wig and a violin with a music box down here on my crutch, and I had the remote control here. It was very dumb, very silly, very mad.
He couldn't play the violin, obviously. He just sort of stood there and scratched away at this thing. And we went a couple of stops on the train. The doors open and this old guy gets in. And he sort of took one look at Pierce and sort of greeted him like a long-lost brother. He was carrying a violin case as well. He puts the thing on the floor, opens up the violin case, gets out his violin, starts jamming with Pierce.
I learned how to fire eat, and it came in useful. Then there was a circus across the street, and they were looking for clowns, and we went over there, a bunch of us, and dressed up as clowns. And one of those little tricks, everybody was learning. I did that for about 2 years, and then I really decided I wanted to be an actor. And I thought, I better train. I don't want to be on a stage someday with some poncy director saying, "So Pierce, now, where did you train?"
Pierce's next step was to find a drama school, but he was unprepared for his first audition.
I went out and I'd never been in the proscenium arch. I'd never really learnt speech. And I just made a pig's ear of it, and I practically fell off the stage. And they just said, "Thank you very much," disappear. And the next week I had an audition for another drama school, so I paid attention.
In 1973, 19-year-old Pierce was accepted full-time at the Drama Centre of London. One of his teachers was director Christopher Fettis.
He was a very grown-up person, and he was, unmistakably from the word go, he was a leading man.
By 1976, Brosnan's acting skill, good looks, and sense of style all seemed to point in one direction.
I had movies on the brain. I mean, if Irish was my nickname at school, when I was at drama school, it was Hollywood. Don't ask me why, but be careful what you wish for.
When he left school, everybody knew that he had the makings of an extraordinarily fine leading actor, that he could go straight to the Royal Shakespeare Company or straight to the Abbey Theatre or straight to the National Theatre in London, and that he would be able to command roles of great variety and complexity. He was a magnificent stage actor in the making.
After graduating in 1976, 23-year-old Brosnan joined the ranks of struggling actors who did anything to gain entry into the acting union.
Again, I thought I was cock of the walk. I thought I could do it all, but I had to start all over again. Acting ASM means Acting Assistant State Manager. And that was the way I got my equity card. And I did it for 6 months. So, I was doing bit parts, making the coffee, making the props, going out, putting the posters up around town.
What Pierce needed was a role that would get him noticed. His break came in 1977 when he understudied in a Tennessee Williams play, Red Devil Battery Sign. As if it were scripted, the lead actor left the role, and Brosnan took his place.
For me, that was incredible. That was like this, again, you know when a door's opening, you know preparation is everything in life, and you better be prepared as an actor when you suddenly get a call.
Although the production only lasted a few weeks, it was just long enough for Pierce to be noticed by producer-director Franco Zeffirelli.
Franco Zeffirelli saw me in the production, and he was doing a production called Philomena.
Zeffirelli's Philomena opened at the Lyric Theatre in the West End, London's Broadway, in 1977. The play was a great success, and suddenly 24-year-old Pierce was more than just an actor. He was a sensation. During the run of Philomena, Pierce had an encounter that changed his life, courtesy of a friend who was living with an elegant aunt named Cassandra Harris.
One night we were having a poker evening, and she came home, and I was in the fridge mooching around for something to eat, and, you know, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. This gorgeous woman had been out on a date with some guy, some nerdy banker, something like this. Anyway, that's how we met. She said, well, what are you doing? This is my children's food. No, well, what do you want to do? Put it back in the fridge, for God's sake. Sorry. That's how we met. I'd never seen anything quite as beautiful or as gorgeous or as whatever.
Pierce and Australian actress Cassandra Harris soon became inseparable. Beau St. Clair, who later became Pierce's business partner, vividly remembers the couple.
When you saw the two of them come into a room, they were like the most perfectly matched couple. They were so beautiful. It was just kind of, rarely do you see two people so well matched on many levels, like spiritually and physically, and they were stunning.
Cassie also brought her 2 young children, Christopher and Charlotte, into Pierce's life. A year and a half after meeting, they all moved in together and became a family.
You think, is this the right decision? But you love each other. And it's like, am I happy? I'm really happy.
When we return, Pierce Brosnan becomes the Man of Steel, Remington Steele.
We both were like, oh my gosh, what are we getting into here?
And later, tragedy strikes.
It's such a terrifying disease. Just those 6 letters, just